Hello again, welcome to the Mastercam course. In that lecture, we're gonna talk about Plunge toolpath. As you can see here, if you have some product and which has actually and a highly depth figure like this one, so and it will be better for you to use actually Plunge and the toolpath like this one. So that's quite important. Okay, so let me use and delete operations and the button here, and then let's create our toolpath together. Okay, this is my and actually product. I'm gonna use the right mouse button, Lathe toolpath, and then I'm gonna hit on plunge turn operations. Okay, this is some and information warning to us, so we need to organize our stock setup. So I'm gonna hit here, turn to stock setup and properties, and then I'm gonna hit the make from 2 points options. So this is the first one and second one, and then I'm gonna hit here. Okay, let's try again, and then I'm gonna use the right mouse button and the lathe pads and plunge turn. So this is and as similar as the growing toolpath. Actually, that's why we're gonna see the growing options here. I'm gonna select the chain options, but of course this is quite different from and growing toolpath. This is actually plunge toolpath. Okay, so this is my chain, it's selected, and then I'm gonna hit and my tool. So for example, I can prefer to use this one. This is the 6mm width. I'm gonna use this one. So okay, let me write my and tool number, station number and offset number, and then I can write my and the maximum spindle and the speed, and then I'm gonna turn to plunge and the plunge turn shape parameters. Okay, there is nothing to here and there is nothing to change here because this is my cutting direction, and then I can turn to the plunge turn rough parameters. When we reach here, we're gonna see the depth of cut. Depth of cut, actually it is coming from actually our tool properties. So this is coming from actually, you know that we are using the 6mm tools. If I am writing and 100, we're gonna see the 6mm depths. This is coming from the actually tool width. So I can write here 50% of my tool. So it is and 3mm depth of cut, and then we can also turn to the stock to leave on the x-axis like this one, and stock to leave on the z-axis. Maybe it can be like this. So this is the minimum cut depth. Actually this is and actually calculated automatically. This is the minimum cut depth. We can also select this one as a and maybe and the 10% of my tool diameter or 25% of my tool tool width, sorry. And then this is the actually clearance plane. We can write 0.75mm as a and the clearance distance. And then let's turn here. This is the approach distance. This is the actually cut direction. We're gonna prefer to use zigzag negative. It means that we're gonna move on the actually chalk direction. We can also change that zigzag to positive side, one-way positive side, or one-way negative side. Most of the time we prefer to use zigzag negative side. So it means that we're gonna start with the negative side. And then that's it. Actually we can also use the retraction movement by using the rapid. Okay, we can also see here, this is the plunge feed rate. Okay, there is no any feed rate options here, as you can see. So we need to organize it for roughing and finishing process and separately. So that's why we need to write our plunge feed rate here. This is 0.1. turn feed rate. Okay, it can be actually 0.15. And spindle speed, plunge spindle speed, we're gonna write spindle speed here. We can also prefer to use the constant spindle speed or constant cutting speed, quite similar. Okay, but we can use the constant spindle speed here, so I can write 2000. And turning process, we can also use the 2000 here. Yeah, actually that is actually quite important. You can change your spindle speed by plunging or turning operation. So that's why that's quite important. If you would like to wait for a while and the last depth of cut, you can also select the second options or none options. Okay, so we can also prefer to these parameters as a second or revolutions. Okay, both of them is possible. Okay, most of the time I prefer to use none of them. So because this is the roughing actually. So this is all about my plunge turn rough parameters. Let's talk about the finish parameters. We can also reactivate our finish operation. This is the first parameters. After that, we can also write stock clearance, and we can also write stock to leave in the x-axis and z-axis. And then we can also turn to plunge feed rate as a 0 and 75, and turn feed rate also can be 0.1. We can also use the constant cutting speed as a 150. This is the plunge speed, and we can also use the same for turning spindle speed here. And then that's it actually. We can also use the different feed and we can also use rapid or feed rate approach or retraction movement. This is the actually G0. We can use the G0 or we can prefer to use G1 for our retract movement. Okay, so this is the negative side. Actually that can be the negative side and the positive side. Okay, so actually that's okay. We can also prefer to wait section for our finishing process as well. Okay, so actually that's it. Let's click here and to see what we have. Okay, yeah, perfect. And we're gonna see that's kind of the toolpath here. I'm gonna reach here and repeat and repeat. Yeah, actually we can also see that that's kind of solution, but that's not, that's okay actually. But if you would like to see your compensation type, our tool compensation type calculated like this. If you prefer to this one, of course when you turn to your CNC, also you need to change your parameters according to this perspective. Okay, don't forget to organize it. Okay, make me that in the 40% off and 20% off and these parameters, and we're gonna recalculate our toolpath again. So okay, we're gonna see actually the roughing and finishing process here. This is the roughing, this one, and this one, and then this is the finishing process. Okay, so okay, seems fine. This is plunge toolpath actually. Okay, don't hesitate to use plunge feed rate. Thank you very much.